This week is a big week for a bunch of financial institutions. Tomorrow we have a handful of different banks that are set to report earnings, and here are some things that you should take into consideration. So again, I really hope that you learned something new, and if you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and subscribing if you feel like we earned it. The first thing I want to share with you is we got BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citi, Wells Fargo, all reporting earnings tomorrow before the market opens. Using BlackRock as an example, on the day chart, it's incredibly bullish, pretty much sitting at all-time highs. And why is this important? To see how stressed or how profitable these companies are. This is the first week of earning season. So these companies are here to set the tone. Is it a bullish or bearish case? Tomorrow, we'll have a little bit of a better understanding. So based off of where the market opens up, because a lot of these companies are going to be reporting before the market opens, you will see there will either be a gap up or a gap down based off of what is currently expected, bull case, versus what is actually reported. And again, I'm not here to predict. I can't predict what tomorrow's going to present. All we know is that markets are incredibly bullish. They're incredibly irrational, and they've been looking for any and every reason to continue to go up. With that being said, we also have Bank of America reporting earnings before the market opens on Wednesday, then Morgan Stanley as well. And then if you take into consideration on Thursday, we have TSMC and we have Charles Schwab also reporting earnings. And then on Friday, we have American Express reporting before the market opens. Now, before we even get into some of that, I wanted to recap where I was for the overall day. One of the day trades that I took today was my trade on sqqq. At one point during market open, but then we had another opportunity where it did go back up to retest. I was up about $1,000. I ended at $1,300 in the red, and there's nothing else to it. It's right. I had a position that was right around $100,000. I lost about 1.3%. My job here is not to pretend to be perfect, but I saw an opportunity. I saw some recovery potential. Market sentiment was incredibly bullish. Obviously, if you know how sqqq works, this stock only goes up when QQQ goes down. Markets were too bullish to support the case that, again, they were not selling off. So if they were not selling off, then SQQ was not going to recover. I just decided to keep my loss small and cut losses at $1,300. The only other trade that I took was my overbought reversal setup on Oklo. And at one point, I was also about $500 or $600 in the green. I set up for an overbought reversal here right around 170, and then it quickly turned against me. And with how it pushed during the extended hours, I'm down $969. Again, less than 1% of what I entered with the short. So two trades, both ended in the red today. Just like I've loved sharing with you guys before, I'm not here just to show you the good days. I'm here to show you obviously the bad ones or the red ones once they present themselves. Remember, our job as traders or as investors is not to pretend to be perfect. Every trade we take will never be perfect. Just be mindful of that position size and don't be afraid to cut losses. I can choose to cut losses at 1%, or I can choose to bag hold and cut losses at 10 or 20%. I've tried to lead by example, and we've talked about this many times with our LPP traders that get to watch me trade live. It's making sure that you do your part in establishing healthy habits when you are just getting started. If you often find yourself making the same mistake over and over again, losing an uncontrollable amount of money because you know how to let your winners run, but you don't know how to cut your losers, again, you need to work on that. There's no secret strategy. It's just learn how to manage risk. Either set a max dollar loss or a max percent loss and stay true to that. And it will get easier as time goes on. It also makes it easier when your position size is not super aggressive. Position size and tolerance is all based off of your risk tolerance. Me losing $1,000 on a trade is much easier because I'm used to trading with much larger amounts of capital, and the green days that I have tend to be much more significant. But again, if you're someone that's just getting started and you're trading with $1,000, then that means that, again, maybe you want to keep your losses at 1 or 2%, just depending on whatever it is or however it is that you set up your trade. your potential for profit should always outweigh your potential for loss. But again, we talk about that in a little bit more detail in the LPP lesson library that's designed for complete beginners. If you want to check it out, second link in the description down below. And of course, it gives you access to our daily live training session. So where are the markets as of right now? Well, NASDAQ market is up about 0.33%. So they're actually gapping up. This is just during the overnight hours. During the extended hours, we saw just a lot of consolidation, pretty much trading flat. I wasn't very impressed with today because from where the market opened at to where it ended slightly in the green, but not very much, right? All of this movement really happened overnight, right? From where we closed at to where we opened at, that's where the movement happened. Other than that, it was a relatively pretty flat day. So remember, don't make impulsive trades. And just like you saw, my focus was I wasn't afraid to take advantage of opportunities today, even though I was wrong, right? I just was mindful of my exposure. I was mindful of my position. During a very volatile time, as this time, during a government shutdown, during trade war, tariff, concerns, this is probably not a time where you want to be super aggressive. But if you have that risk tolerance, to each their own. Maybe it is the time. The last thing that I want to share with you is something that was just released. Breaking. China urges the U.S. to correct wrongdoings regarding President Trump's 100% tariffs and says that it will fight until the end. In other words, step 9 in our tariff playbook is on the horizon. So pretty much we've been through this before, right? Saying that President Trump threatened a 100% tariff against China to start November 1st. And if this threat does not get taken back by Trump or the Trump administration, what has China done in the past before? They will also threaten with a tariff. It's what has happened in the past before. And based off of that, that's all we can go off of. That then the kind of like respark of this tariff war continues. So at that point, markets will most likely react in a negative way. But if Trump does take it back, which again, it looks like it's most likely what's bound to happen, then at least at that point, markets don't have to be negatively impacted by tariff concerns. But remember, inflation is still going up, labor market is still low, and the idea of cutting interest rates now, even when inflation is on the rise, something to keep a close eye on. But again, if you guys want to dive a little bit deeper, I go live every single morning at Market Open with our LPP team. Whenever you feel like you are ready, again, it's designed for complete beginners. You can join us as soon as tomorrow. We have a little discount there for you. It's the second link in the description down below. You can tune on in and start your mornings every day with our LPP team during our live session. And that's that second link down below. I appreciate your time. Hope that earned a thumbs up. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team, and happy Monday.